okay. I mean, still too small to understand. She clearly, the week when she didn't get to see Nazanin was tough. We've got a new Prime Minister I met when he was Foreign Secretary. We'll be looking to meet with him again. Now he's Prime Minister, so listen, this Nazanin's case is a Prime Minister level issue. Been raised a lot in the leadership campaign. This is something that, you know, her case is very close to you, and you made us a promise personally to leave no stone unturned, and my job is to hold you to that promise. Wednesday today. And yeah, I think she doesn't worry about things. So the criticism I made of Boris Johnson most recently were in the leadership campaign, which was to say, listen, you should take personal responsibility for her case and the case of the others. And that would be my job going forward. So, you know, now he's Prime Minister, obviously congratulations on becoming Prime Minister, but, you know, you are responsible. I'm going to hold you to the promise to leave no stone unturned, and we'll be looking to meet with you in the first month and then take forwards as to how we can solve this case. More generally, I think it is, you know, the first job of the Prime Minister, the first job of government, to protect British citizens from danger and unfairness overseas. That will be a demand that's broader than Nazanin, and we'll be following up on that in the weeks to come. Yeah, until Nazanin decides. It's a new government with a new set of priorities that might shake things up. On Iran, it might be different, it might be the same. We're hoping to meet the Foreign Office at the end of the week on Friday. We'll begin to get a breath of sense of where things are. And I think it's a bit early to say what our strategy is. It's obviously to keep Nazanin's name firmly in everyone's mind, to push them to solve things with Iran, to make things simpler, and we'll see where we go. I can call her, as long as she's not been sent to bed early, so I'll try and call her after this is all over later on this evening. Things have got much more tense between the UK and Iran just recently, and that's in relation to oil tankers and in relation to our hunger strike and beyond. And how is that affected? Well, in some ways, of course, her being taken to hospital and signals being made in the Iranian media shows that we were again a live bargaining chip. I suspect we are a live bargaining chip, and that makes our case complicated. The call for us to the UK government is obviously just to understand what's going on, what they're trying to do, and to make clear that Nazanin is front and centre of their minds as they try and move things forwards. Behind closed doors, to go back a few weeks ago, we were pushing the government to say, listen, you granted Nazanin diplomatic protection, you know, and that was an important step. You are going to need to show that means something, and that you are protecting her. But yeah, it's important that contact is maintained. It's very volatile, it keeps changing, we're watching closely. There's a level of panic, probably more caution. I'd say, I've been saying that there are clearly clouds. With clouds, there is always the hope there's a silver lining. One of the obvious ways of de-escalating tensions would be to have positive movements on prisoners. We are an obvious area where that could happen, but it might not. Nazanin was tough, was quite, you know, she picks up on the mood of. She's really up and down. So yes, it's like being in the waiting room for waiting for an answer for, I mean, more than 2 years now that we felt close. Sometimes it feels close and there's hope, then when that gets dashed she goes very low. She went on hunger strike not that long ago. That was a mark of despair. She'd been on hunger strike about 6 months before. Broadly, you know, she's been trying to signal very clearly now that enough's enough and that this needs to be solved. I think where we are is that the conversations I have with the Foreign Office behind closed doors are to make it really clear that you have to do something to find a way to solve this, that you know, enough is enough. A threshold to look to decide what to do. Well, since then we've had Nazanin on hunger strike for 2 weeks.